All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts. Analysis and live day trading. Awesome trades today in Active Trader. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, strongly encourage you to do so. We're absolutely on a roll right now here. 3 winners again today, including calling that low for the fastest 15-20 point rally I've seen in a while here. It's absolutely monster in the trading room lately. So anyways, let's get into it today here. So we have CPI tomorrow, and we talked about, at least I think I talked about, this little wedge pattern yesterday. No, we talked about it in the trading room, but nice wedge pattern here. We gapped above it, 52.20. Again, was going to be resistance on the upside, your short-term level there, and then above that, 52.30 would certainly repair the chart. I know I said that yesterday. So we gapped up here, and you even had a pretty good 4-hour like inside bar. In fact, let's take a look at the futures. Even better, right? Just nice tight pattern. We tried to get above that and failed pattern. So failed breakout. Little inside, sliced 5200 all the way down to 5160, 5180. As I've been saying, that's kind of been a big line in the sand. We're able to hold that into the end of the day, and guess where we're going to close? Oh, look at that, right at 5200. So that's 6 days in a row now. Tuesday, closing right above 52. Wednesday, traded through it twice, closed above it. Thursday, we had the big swoon. We traded through it. Wednesday, closed right on it. Friday, closed right on it. Monday, yesterday, we closed right on it. And today, we'll likely close right on it or right above. So that level, it remains a magnet here. And it's likely that when we break away from that, it's going to be a big move. So we'll probably trade. My guess is we'll trade through this a little bit longer here. Can CPI detach us from that? It certainly could be. It certainly could, right? It's certainly possible. I would be shocked if this number doesn't come in hotter month over month and year over year. All it takes is just one look at oil, right? So, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Same thing there with gasoline. So we see that. But it has to come in hotter than expected, right? If it's expected at 3.4, which I think it is, and it comes in at 3.4, it doesn't matter that it's hotter year over year, because that's priced in, right? So it's got to come in much hotter than expected to unpin volatility. And, you know, the VIX down 3 cents right now. A lot of that selling came in the last few minutes, obviously. But I still think that there's plenty of hedges in place. Market's closing right in a second here, so there's a closing bell. And yeah, so we close a little bit higher between 52 and 52.10, but a lot of hedges in place. So I think there's a possibility. Again, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but maybe we get an initial reaction down, lower rate hike odds or rate cut odds, and then you get like kind of a buy the dip again. But one thing I've noticed here is, guess what? That's 2 days out of the last 4 that we've had pretty good slices. We have not seen that since this whole run, right? We've had 2 days in a row that were down, or 3, rarely, but not 2 big swoons in 4 trading days. So now, yes, dips are still getting bought. Dips will get bought until we break support, which right now is going to be 51.50. Or, I mean, if we decisively smash through 51.80, we'll go right through that, and that could bring knife selling again. But the point is, though, we had a chance to break out today, right? So, like, dip by, everything's fine, water's warm. What did I say the last couple of days? Like, for bears, you actually kind of want us to just hang around here. You don't want us to go down quickly, because then it's going to cause a squeeze. You go into this area and you're oversold already, boom, it's going to rip right back up. You want bulls to think the water's warm. Well, how do you do that? You gap and crap it. So everybody's thinking break out above 52.20, and then you yank it down. So still seeing institutions sell, right? High, lower high, breakout attempt will turn it into a lower high. So we're still seeing institutions sell into these rallies. Now dips are still being bought, which is kind of creating this, you know, you can make a case like kind of a triangular pattern here. In fact, if we look at the ES, yeah, you can see it even nicer. Look at that. So kind of starting to create a triangular pattern, right? Big, big, big pattern. So we'll see if that kind of continues here into this, you know, it's close into OPEX week. My guess, though, is I don't think CPI is going to move the market all that much at the end of the day, unless it, you know, really starts to get an outside, you know, way upticked or something like that. Obviously, that's a possibility, but I think we're going to kind of hold up into OPEX. But I do think that there is an interim high in place, and I think we'll probably at least see some more downside prices. I don't think that we're going to have like a big swoon, at least, you know, not in the macro sense. But that's just kind of my bias right now. So again, short term, kind of neutral-ish. But watch out for distribution. You know, I'm on watch for lower highs here. So be careful of that. Triple Qs here again, still inside of the red. Same thing as far as that's concerned. IWM, same thing. But I do like the IWM on the weekly though. As you guys know, I think that this pattern's not terrible. 205 is a nice point of control. It held there again today. Look at the low of the day right there and higher low. So still holding up all right. The Dow is easily the weakest. And I think this is the most poised to have a pretty good, you know, continuation down. So semiconductors, again, same thing, right? Slice that trend line and we have not reclaimed it. Technology in general, same thing with IGV. We've been talking about this kind of crisscross here. We're below that, could be setting up a bear base there. So again, those leaders, those areas leading the market over the last 18 months are starting to slip here. But we are seeing other sectors pick it up, as I've said multiple times, the transports. Take a look at VNQ today. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, other, you know, rotation into other sectors. And I don't hate this pattern on the transports weekly at all. So they held up all right. All right, let's skip over to interest rates here. So the 2-year backed off just a little bit today, but again, higher lows, equal highs. This is getting ready to go here. You might have to back off a little bit more this week, but I think by next week this is taking off. Same thing with 5s, 10s, and 30s. Again, we do have an auction 10s on Wednesday, tomorrow, and 30s on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure it's either that or the other way around. I'm pretty sure 10's on Wednesday, but either way, auctions. So, you know, maybe we get a pullback on that, but I think we're going to see another higher low. And then I think 30-year gets to 4.75. I think the 2-year gets close to 5%, and I think that is what backs the market off. XHB, again, holding up, down 11 cents today. It was actually a lot weaker earlier. This took a really good hit this morning. This is the weakest I've seen XHB intraday in a while. So maybe this is starting to, you know, maybe finally starting to see some distribution here, like a lot of other things. Again, could set up a bear base there and then head lower. Positive is the trend is up. Negative, it's really overbought and way overdue for a correction. VNQ here, 1, 2, 3 bar surge on daily. So we hit that support area and buyers showed up. Again, this is probably one of the strongest sectors of the day. Look at it, closed right at the highs of the day. Didn't even participate in that little fake sell-off towards the 3 o'clock time frame. Didn't participate in the morning sell. Look at the spiders. The VNQ, strong. Inside bar all day long. And then pushed up. So definitely rotation there. Strong sector right now. XLF down 24 cents. Bank earnings on Friday. So I just be neutral with this right now. Did see some possible, again, just to bring that back. JPM, there's definitely, it looked like some profit taking ahead of earnings. Again, didn't break down, but possible profit taking. You can make a case too. I pointed this out earlier in the trading room. Maybe a little head and shoulder there on the 4-hour and hourly. So watch that. You know, it's not like a, you know, it'll probably only take you down to like 190, but still something to keep an eye on. ARE slightly green today, up 32 cents. So that bucked the trend. ABE, same thing, up 12 cents. Broker dealer still okay. If we close below 600, it could get a little vulnerable here. Maybe back down to 590. But holding up okay now. Crude's still in back off mode here. I still think this could flag though. You know, the 20 MA just could catch up to price and then we could have one more push. I think this can really get to 90, 92. So until proven otherwise, I'm still going to give that the upside bias. XLE fractionally positive. It was a little soft early though. It got a good buy program at the end of the day. Same thing with XOP and OIH, although OIH was down. This one seems to be the weakest of the three here. CCJ backing off, but still inside of this green on a closing basis, so it's still okay, and it's definitely firmed up quite a bit. URNM's a little bit weaker. We're holding on to these pivots right now. Still just neutral to bullish on those. Nat gas held up nicely today. So it backed off intraday, and then it actually had a little continuation. Slight higher high, so you got the daily higher high there. We're back above this trend line here on a closing basis, so this is where we broke down. This chart is adjusted for contract caps too, by the way. We are above that. Next level, right around 2, you know, if we can get up there. We have some pivots there, 195, but then $2. So nat gas looking a little bit better here. Dollar index down just 4 pennies, but it did come nicely off the lows. So it was getting hit earlier, and then boom, V-shape, and then just kind of consolidating intraday. So if we look at an hourly, got a little inside bar there. That could continue higher tomorrow, especially obviously if CPI is hot. Gold here, a new high, backing off though. It's getting really overbought and really stretched. Maybe CPI is an excuse for it to come back in. Maybe the auction is an excuse. I know it's disconnecting from the dollar and disconnecting from yields, but I mean, again, like I said, an excuse to pull back, right? We know it's overbought. We know it's going to pull back. They might just need that story to do it. By the way, before I forget, looking at bonds, I noted this in the trading room earlier. When we were selling off, look at this. Let's use a TLT because everybody knows what TLT is. Strong all day long, even when the market was selling. So this market sell-off this morning was either a tape bomb, which I did predict this morning, or it was not related to CPI. Because if it was related to CPI being hot, TLT wouldn't have been bidding. That said, every time they pump TLT in one of these volatility events, it's always a lower high. So I'm not saying I'm bullish bonds here, but interesting little dynamic there. But gold a little overbought here. GDX getting really overbought. A little doji there. Going into a little supply zone, so just be careful with that. Still very strong though. Silver continuing up 28 and a quarter. This is overbought, but this is kind of what silver does historically. Going into a lot of pivots here. Not sure how much more upside's left. Maybe to 30. Before a correction. Ultimately, it's going to 35. But good move there for silver. Platinum got to 1,000. We talked about that yesterday. There it is, pulling back there. This has. I like the higher lows here into the trend line. I think this is getting ready here. And palladium finally got that nice outside move. Been waiting for that. Good pop there above that red bar. Looks good. Higher lows. We can get back above that 200. I think we can get to 1250, 1300 pretty quick. Copper, little doji there as well, so pulling back. Again, maybe CPI is the excuse for this to pull back as well, but again, weekly chart still looks really good. I like that curling kind of action there. Again, might need to pull back or consolidate, but looks good. I want to see these moving averages start to separate and create space. Tells you that the trend is strengthening. And Bitcoin pulled back. So I talked about this yesterday. I kind of almost predicted it. I said, like, sometimes when you get these wedges, you'll get the first out, and then that's a fake out. Then it came back in. It's not broken, but it did pull back inside of that wedge. So it just backed off a little bit. You can see ETH here, and a little bit not as strong of shape, but you have higher highs and higher lows. So it's holding up okay. Still seeing, the alts for the most part act all right. Solana, Cardano's been out a little bit on the weaker side. Litecoin still looks pretty good here. I like that inside bar pattern. Even Doge holding up okay. Poked out a little bit weaker, but sector's all right. And just appears to be consolidating for now. Nothing wrong with that. So again, tomorrow, watch, we've been pinned to 5,200. I'm still thinking that they're going to be in dip buy mode. I figured they would tease the downside in the afternoon. They did. And I was waiting right there to buy that. Had some nice proprietary singles that gave us a really good trade into the afternoon. And yeah, we'll see. At some point, they got to push us away from this. And when we get pushed away from 52, it's going to be a big move in either direction. But right now, again, we'll see what CPI brings. And we'll continue to go from there. So anyways, guys, going to wrap up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. See you guys all tomorrow.